Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, we're playing with the Golem Stomper deck. Yeah, we're a big fan of Simulacrum Synthesizer, Urabrask Forge, but there's a bunch of other weird cards in here we don't normally see in this kind of a setup. So yeah, that sounds fantastic. We're going to be able to play 3 colors. We got some good board wipes, some good control, and maybe we could just get some golems going crazy with hasty kind of situations going on beyond that. If that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, and this month's cover model for Abs of Steel magazine, Dr. Yukon Suckett. Yes, thank you. Filmed before a live studio audience. Thank you so much, Yukon Suckett. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to a deck I found over on the Aether Hub, posted by Ravis123, called Artifact Golem Stomper. Artifact Golem Stomper. Now, I love Artifact Golem decks. I think they're fantastic. And this one had a lot of interesting cards that I haven't seen in this kind of deck before. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the cards that are in this deck, talk about how this deck should work, and then we're going to go out and crush some hopes and dreams. What do we got here today? This is like mana ramp for artifacts. This flashes out to do 5 points of damage, and then you can turn it into some sort of a weird vehicle. This guy will put out a golem for every time you put out a artifact with a mana value of 3 or greater. So none of this stuff over here counts. But every time you get, and that golem gets +1/+1 for each artifact control. So it does count towards your dudes. If you got these 2 out, this guy will come out as a with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it. All right, Urabrask Forge puts out a guy every turn. They get stronger each turn and helps Simulacrum put out a golem. This guy is 3 or greater, so puts out a golem if you got Simulacrum out, as well as steals a dude from your opponent, and then you could just put this onto one of your guys to give him a copy of that guy that you kidnapped. Thran Spider is a great blocker. If you got 7 mana, you can use it to go look for artifacts. And he'll get you a Power Stone, which is mana for artifacts. This will put out a gnome soldier that's equal to the number of artifacts and or creatures you control. So with this deck, it will be swole. It'll be really, really big. Fast. And then if you can turn it into the land, then anytime you use it to cast an artifact or a creature spell, you put out another gnome soldier. So you can start popping those guys out like crazy. This wipes the board and draws you cards, or one or the other. You could do both, potentially. Unstable Glyphbridge wipes the board. What does this do here? This gives your guys +1/+0 in haste, and allows you to bounce out artifacts and creatures, pretty much artifacts for you, and then return them to your battlefield under the control in your next upkeep. This does -5 to a creature of your choice, or lets you draw 2 cards. And we got a bunch of weird lands. And the cool thing with Nahiri's Resolve is you can start picking things like Unstable Glyphbridge or the Mightstone and Weakstone to bounce out, and then have them bounce back in, triggering the Simulacrum to put back out 1 or 2 or 3 golems, as well as getting their enter the battlefield effects. So anyways, there's a lot of good combos going on here. I'm looking forward to having a good time. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to get out the Simulacrum, get out Urabrask Forge, and then control the board with the guys we got, pumping up our mana to eventually wipe the boards and kill dudes while just crushing them with our totally awesome hasty golems and forgelings. All right, so before we go out and do our damage, let's do as we do every night. Let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Hands together. Dear Black Queen Shuldred, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear lamentations of the women. All right, we're playing against JpWilson. Hey there, C3PO. It's good to see you. I will keep it going. Everything's going to cost us 3. Question is, can we last that long? Killed his own guy without attacking with him first. Shows that he's impatient. Technically, I do that like all the time, though. 2, nothing to do. All right, here comes a synthesizer. Nope, and no. See, I don't need, I just need 5 mana and I got them. So I don't need either of those cards. All right, come on. Pass the rock, yo. I want to get all excited. I only need 3, so that's good. Let's go ahead and synthesizer up. Do you really have the ability to kill artifacts with black? That's nice. Okay, we'll take all those guys. That's all good. Congratulations, you killed a guy. Like, he's only got 1 guy out. That's the question. I'm going to wait on the Aegis. I just don't really see what the point of it is. All right, 3 toxic points. Also called poison. He always sits, he's got instants in his hands. One part is there are artifacts. All right, he's going to go for the killing. There's a slaughter floor. Non-token artifacts and/or creatures you control. Great. You gonna send in the Skull Dweller? Since he's your beef supreme? All right, you've got 4 mana. All right, someone tells me this guy's going to chump like nobody's ever chumped before. Or is this guy actually scared of this guy? Jump, jump, jump! There we go. All right, so we kind of protected that Simulacrum. If they can come in, give me a dude, they'll have haste. You can spider it up, those guys will have haste. I really want to get rid of, though. He doesn't put any guys out. Let's just get rid of the Aegis. He hasn't shown any propensity for discard up until this point. Oh, I needed that. All right. If you cast it, destroy all creatures except creatures chosen this way. And we have non-hasty guys, unfortunately, because he went after my enchantment. Jerkwad. Now we got to teach him what teaching is all about. You gonna be able to do more against those guys? I think you're about to give up. Turn off the TV, yo. Game's over. And we win! Winner, winner! Victory dinner! Up and against takeri. Alright, let's keep it. There's no artifacts in my hand to trigger off the Simulacrum. I don't know what we're going to do. Alright, we got something good. Sure, why not? It's really weird that Nahiri's Resolve doesn't wipe the board. It really looks like a board wipe. I don't need another one of these. 5, alright, fine. All right, single in. We got a 3/3 standing there being awesome. What are you gonna steal? My poor Simulacrum? What a jerk. I sense a ill-timed explosion in the near future. Five points across the board. No and no. All right, still, I got to get this guy out so we can start doing some hasty stuff. Who do I want to bounce out? None of the above. Maybe we'll try it on the other guy, just see if he actually gets brought back in. But I don't think the answer is no. That's what a hasty golem looks like. Sure, let's bounce that guy. Oh. No thanks. These guys have to grow. And we win. Boom, boom. Goes the room. All right, we're playing against Citizen and Core. Well, we got 1, 2, 3. That's all fine. I'm not a big fan of this card. One of those cards. Look at the top X cards or X number of artifacts you control. All right, I got to discard a card to do that. I guess if I'm desperate. Shut up the dog. All right, not putting that out. That's fine. We're done with getting mana. All right, Urabrask Forge. We're going to get one through because he can't block. Oh, he can block with the big old fat butt there. I thought he had tapped. All right, but we do have ill-timed explosion on the next turn. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going full steam. I don't know what you're planning on doing, man. Keeping a guy alive or something? Sacrificing a guy? You have an instant in your hand, that's what it says. Yeah, you're not flashing your cards at all. You know, I don't need this guy, really. Well... All right, you can pump a guy, maybe. Only by 1. By 2. All right, good. All right, let's bring it in. And pay that full off-screen price. Well, I thought I had the synthesizer out already. Wasn't worth it. I needed to play that first. I'm just being a jerk. Liliana. Of course, a discard, that's fine at this point. Pass that on. All right, so I can kill this little guy at this point, but it's not going to do him any good. I put this out and put out Nahiri's Revolve. Let's just do that. Let's get rid of Liliana. And then we can start bouncing in the Mightstone, Weakstone. I don't have any mana, so I can't bring that in. I don't think I have any creatures for you to grab, man. That's a creature? What does that say? No, ooh, permanent land, huh? And another. Pick the wrong card. There we go. Victory! I'll put against Derka. Two mana. There's a third. All right, cool. Keep it. This thing has a nice curve to it. I'm glad he didn't counter that. He's trying to do some kooky things. This is 3 with the synthesizer. Sure. This guy's trying to play some stuff on me here. Which means he's got board wipes up the butt. I don't think we have much choice. I mean, the deal is he's just going to be wiping the board. We just got to keep putting guys out. I don't think he's going to even try. Oh yeah, I know it's coming up. All right, you got a 6/6 you're looking at. Basically, you just got to beat my ability to do this. You don't have enough of those. You're ready to win. You're going to run out of cards, and that's fantastic for me, but I got to sit here and grind through them. It's just a race at this point. Hey, gave me something to shoot. Doesn't matter. There we go. That does not, I mean, that is my haste, I guess. Never use this card. This doesn't matter. Aegis is cool. He's got yet another. Oh, what are we bouncing out of here? This. I will have haste. He needs to put out another room, and he's got to unlock 4 of the doors. Hopefully I'll just be able to super plow him this turn. Let's go. Here we go. 2 guys in. That was not what we needed. Let's get him. 1, 2, 3. Oh, jeez, that is fantastic. Victory! All right, so here we are with the Golem Stomper. It was an okay deck. Like I said, I played tighter versions of this, but I was interested to see how this particular bunch of cards are worked out. Like, I'd never played with Nahiri's Resolve and this deck. It had its moments. It's just that it's not an artifact, and so there was a lot of situations in which I had Synthesizer out, and yet I didn't have artifacts to play, and that was weird that this deck wasn't prepared for that. And plus, also the non-colored lands. There's like what 3 of them in here, yet they showed up like 90% of the time. So I was very concerned. Plus, all of our other lands are incredibly slow. So yeah, this deck had a bunch of problems, and it showed. It showed, but it was interesting. All right, so let's get to it. Who is the MVP? Who is the most valuable player in this deck? Obviously, I mean, I hate passing up Urabrask Forge, but it was Simulacrum Synthesizer. This deck was built around getting this, putting out artifacts, putting out bigger dudes. I appreciate the fact that we can give them haste with the Nahiri's Resolve, but it seems like there was better ways to do that. Like the Glimmer that gives you guys haste and +2/+0. That seemed better. This thing had a great ability to take artifacts like the Mightstone and Weakstone, bounce them back to exile, and then bring them back in, making more stuff happen. So this one's engine was fantastic. It just, you had to wait. And I gotta tell you, I am an aggro guy. Waiting was driving me nuts. Driving me incredibly nuts. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and give the MVP to the Simulacrum Synthesizer. You're the reason why I play Magic cards, baby. All right, let's go on. Was this deck competitive? I ended up getting 54% out of this deck. Just barely competitive enough to play, but not enough for me to find this to be an incredibly compelling deck. So I'm going to say no. I mean, it was competitive, meaning you should play it. It would win a little bit more than you lose. Yeah, good for it. But I'm not going to give it high points for competitiveness. Number 2, was this deck fun? I got to say, this deck kind of drove me crazy because it was too slow. For being a deck that has like Urabrask Forge in it, it just seemed like I couldn't get over like 4 mana so many times. And the mana was just so incredibly slow that it was like playing in mud. You're just trying to wade through it to get the things as quickly as possible. You couldn't do it. I mean, Thran Spider was in here to try to make things faster, yet we could just barely get to it to get it to come out to help play for the other stuff. No, I mean, it just wasn't working. This thing's got the situations to kind of go ramp between the Fabrication Foundry to Thran Spider to Mightstone and Weakstone, yet it never seemed to really work out. It was rough. So even though it was fun to play, the cards were cool when it came together, it was kind of slow. You could really only play one card per turn ever, and we really weren't generating the golems as fast as I would hope. So it was frustrating. That was to say, I've got to call it. It was fun, but frustrating. All right, lastly, was this deck interesting? Yeah, it was interesting. I liked it. I mean, I'm used to playing with Urabrask Forge and Simulacrum, Thran Spider, of course. But the rest of this was all kind of weird and new. I shouldn't say with this particular kind of deck. You know, I saw the Ill-Timed Explosion. I knew that was a board wipe. What was the other one that was a board wipe here? Unstable Glyphbridge. That's pretty decent. It cost 5 to put out. It's the problem. Nahiri's Resolve worked fantastic, even though it wasn't an artifact. Still, I agree. It was a great one in this deck. It's just kind of expensive. So if we had a better range of things going on, I thought this deck can work together, but it was interesting to play. It was good to see, and it was something different. All right, so let's add this up. Was this deck competitive? Not really. Was this deck fun? Yes, but frustrating. Was this deck interesting? Absolutely it was. All right, so giving those all up, I'm going to give this deck an A-. An A-, just because it was slow, it was frustrating, and it didn't win enough to really justify having to put up with that kind of stuff. Also, the people I was playing against were incredibly slow, and that's happened. You got to say your decks like attract certain types of people that you're playing against, and this deck for some reason was going against like control people all the stinking time and just slow players. It was really, really bad. All right, so there you go, an A- deck. If you decide to play with this deck, I hope that you have more fun with it than I did. All right, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Later.